Hello and welcome to the assembly video of the PLC training kit. First we will review that we have all the required components on the table. This includes 1. Trainer enclosure. 2. Pre-cut wires. 3. Zip ties. 4. PLC and power supply. 5. I/O devices like buttons and LEDs. 6. Circuit breaker and terminal blocks. 7. AC connector and its fuse. 8. Phillips and flathead screwdrivers. We will begin by installing the PLC on the top rail of the enclosure. Now we will install the 24-volt power supply. Now we want to install the gray terminal blocks. We will place 3 at the left side of the power supply and 4 at its right side. Now it's time to install the circuit breaker. We will place it to the left side of the power supply next to the terminal blocks. The next component is the main safety relay of the system. Now we will install the AC connector on the back of the enclosure. For this we will use the M4 screws with a Phillips screwdriver. Now we will install the pilot lights. For this we will need to loose the installation ring and then slide the light through the mounting hole to then secure it again with the ring. Now we will install the switches. These ones have the mounting ring in the front side of the plate. Now it's time for the push buttons. They follow the same mounting mechanism as the pilot lights. Now it's time for the reset push button. For this one, we will use the Phillips screwdriver to fix it to the panel. Now we will install the emergency stop button. We need to remove the yellow locking pin first. This button has a twist lock system, so don't use too much strength. Now it's time for the buzzer. This device has an installation ring, same as the pilot lights. Now we will install the potentiometer. This device is mounted in the same way the switch is. That is placing the secure ring in the front side of the panel. Now we will start the wiring section of this video. Be patient because it's going to take a while. Be sure to use the cables with the right labels to avoid accidents. For more details, you can review the E-plan drawings from the support material. You should notice that I'm finishing to wire all the outputs from the PLC. All of this are represented with brown cables. A good practice in professional wire management is keeping your system organized, and you can do so with the help of zip ties. Now I'm connecting output number 6 to the buzzer. Next stop is the round pilot lights. They take outputs 0 through 2. Now is the square pilot lights. They go from output 3 to 5. Now I will start wiring the inputs of the PLC. All input-related cables are blue. For your convenience, all wires in the trainer kit come pre-cut, labeled and with its terminals installed. First I will connect the digital input number 5 to the safety relay. This will allow your PLC program to handle reset and e-stop actions. The remaining input cables will go to the faceplate, so I will group them with zip ties for better wire management. I will connect the inputs from left to right, starting with input number 0 and finishing with input number 4. With this we have finished the wiring of the PLC I/O section of the video. Now we will start with the power distribution wiring. Here we will cover the connections from AC power all the way to the dedicated 24 volts for the faceplate devices. We will start by connecting the live wire from the AC to the circuit breaker. Now we will connect the ground, neutral, and circuit breaker to the 3 terminal blocks on the left. Notice that the circuit breaker conducts power from its upper connection to its lower connection. That means that we use the lower connection with the terminal block. Now we will use the upper side of the terminal blocks to connect the power supply. We will start with live, red, neutral, blue, and ground, yellow. Now we will connect the regulated 24 volts from the power supply to the PLC power input on its bottom. Notice that I'm using blue for the 24 volt or V+ port and brown for the 0 volt or V-. Now we will connect the 24 volts to the main safety relay. We do this to protect the system and its devices. The protection happens because it is the 24 volt I/O that comes out of the relay. This is what we connect to the terminal block on the right. Now we connect the 0 volt from the power supply to another terminal block from the right. Now we will use this custom wire to give 24 volts to all the input devices from the faceplate. We will begin with the devices from left to right. If at any point you are unsure of where to connect the cables, remember that your trainer comes with an E-plan electrical diagram that breaks down every connection. Our next step is to connect the 0-volt cable to the faceplate devices. Remember, good wire management keeps systems clear and safe to inspect. We will start wiring the output devices starting from right to left. For the last PLC I/O connection, we have the analog input. This one goes to the potentiometer that is on the faceplate. Now we will give unprotected 24 volts to the reset and E-stop buttons. This is required so that they can trigger properly the main safety relay in case of an emergency.
Вот так.
The output of the reset and E-stop buttons is what triggers the coil of the safety relay. The last two connections are the 24 volt for I/O to power the outputs of the PLC and the 0 volt for the common pin of the PLC. As an additional step, we will bridge the common pins from the input and output rails of the PLC. We do this because they share the same convention. Congratulations! You finished wiring your PLC training kit. If you have any questions or inconveniences, feel free to reach out to us by phone or email.